Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. So I hope everyone is doing okay. We're all just, hanging in there one day at a time. I'm trying to observe the self-isolation as best as I can. But not making life miserable, that's for sure. Okay, so now I'm trying to plant a little garden, but I don't want to spend any money. Forget it. I grew these two little, there's four tomato plants I grew out of my seeds from my tomatoes. I just planted them and they grew. So last night I have so what I did is I poked a few holes in the bottom of this thing and I put a little fertilizer and dirt that I bought at the dollar store. And then these are some green pepper seeds right here. So I'll just plant a few. I have some lemon seeds and some apple seeds, but I'll plant a few bell pepper seeds out of my bell pepper I ate, and put a little dirt, and then I'll water it a little bit, and that's as easy as it is. And that is how I planted these guys, and they're giving me a lot of joy too. I talked to my plants, I watered them, and I said, okay, you guys look pretty, and I think they're doing a good job. And this is some garden decor. This is a carving that's from Kenya, really cute. These are not that cheap. This is 20 bucks. But, I'm supposed to be doing my own garden, and so far nothing's happening. But okay. So now I did instructions on the bread starter, and it's so easy, but the instructions came out lousy. They just didn't come across very clearly. So, I'm just going to demonstrate it. And this is if you don't have very much, yeast. I was able to finally find it. But say you're getting low, or maybe you can borrow a little. And so I posted this a zillion times. So what this is I want to shake it up, make sure it's all shaken. And what this is it is 2 cups wheat flour and 1/4 tablespoon of yeast. But this is really good tasting bread yeast anyway, even if you're not getting low. Just, for making bread. And for conserving, so I made this before I found the yeast, and so 2 cups for 1 loaf bread. This is gonna be ready by tomorrow morning, believe it or not. So I have 1/4 cup of this flour and yeast. I explain this so stupid, and it's so easy. All right, and then the way I do this is I get 1/4 cup water and I put it in a pan. And I get 1/2 tablespoon sugar. And I just turn this on and I warm it right here. It takes just a minute. So 1/2 tablespoon. And I heat it, easy. So you never have that worry, oh no yeast bread, but get baking powder and make fry bread. If, in your area, the yeast should become very limited or no yeast. Best thing is to stockpile it in advance so it's not an issue, because you're gonna need bread. You're always gonna need bread. So I have 1 small potato. So tomorrow morning, tomorrow morning this will be ready. And so when it is ready, then I will take this potato and grind it in the blender, and then I'll use this mixture just like my yeast. This is really easy to do. So I have 1/4 cup, it's 2 cups flour and 1/2 tablespoon yeast, that's 1/4 cup. And now I'm getting, it just takes a minute to warm the 1/2 tablespoon sugar and warm water. It's gonna turn out better if you warm it. And like a warm bath, no hotter. Okay, it's ready. So now I just want to pour it in. Let me check it. Yeah. Don't get it too hot or it'll kill your yeast. This will, and then you stir this good. And if you want to activate it faster, you can. Okay, so you want to stir this really, really good. And by tomorrow morning, this will be ready for you to make some bread. And then, put your potato in there. And stir it around. And the potato gives your yeast a good, yummy taste. They say it should be an earthen container, but these glass jars, this isn't a very good glass jar. Okay, so I'll stir that a little better, but you get the idea, right? Okay, so that's that. Now I want to make some tasty macaroni and cheese. What I'm making is, I'm making big pots of food. Today I ate up the rest of my Spanish rice. That was good. So I'm just going to have about a tablespoon of margarine. No sense making this any more expensive than it needs to be. Don't tell me this. No. Yes, I didn't take the cheese out, you guys. That is ridiculous. No, I didn't. That's what I didn't do. Well, this is like the at-home video. That's good enough, I think. Okay, so I got this cheese at the food pantry. Well, at the Senior Resource Center. We'll go into that in a minute. I have something to say on that. So, I hope this is not messed up too bad now. Oh boy, it's really hot. I'm always watching videos around the country and it was cold and rainy there. Okay, I can't believe I forgot the cheese, making macaroni and cheese. And so, if you find some cheap meals that'll do, it's not 5-star, okay? But it will do. I actually myself like it, so, I won't be suffering any hardship. None. I'll be fine. Okay, so, now, I roasted a couple of hot dogs. Okay, so I have a little flour that I bought at 99 cents only, and I want to. Kids would like this meal. Some of us are just kids at heart, So all I'm doing here, now you could make white gravy out of this, and you could put anything and everything in this. I took my powdered milk out in case I don't have enough milk. I had the rest of my dented can. I want to encourage you guys to try this. It'll really save you. What we want to do is we want to prepare for the second wave. Well, here's what we want to do. We want to prepare for the second wave at best. Although some people are predicting that the second wave is going to be bad. Or a recession. Or worse, a depression, or worse, a famine. So why a famine? Well, because a famine will usually follow pestilence or disease. And this is a bad one because it's worldwide. And somehow it's been spread all over our entire country, which is not good. And it's killing thousands and thousands of people. I mean, think about it any way you want. So I have butter, I have flour. This is why you don't want to be running out of flour. I think it was last night I was eating gravy. And then, you know, I was eating my homemade bread today with butter and honey. Homemade bread and eggs, homemade bread and cheese, you know. It's very important that one has bread. A lot of people are on these no bread eating diets, but that's voluntary. That's not because there is no bread. So I roasted 2 hot dogs. I bought these hot dogs for $1, so they're about 12 cents each. And these are good hot dogs. These are Farmer John hot dogs. They don't have to be really super duper hot dogs. If you cook them good, they're pretty good. You know, I buy those 88-cent hot dogs and I roast them. I got these at Dollar Tree for $1. They're good. Usually, and so if you figure one package of these has 8 and you have 2 per meal, that's 4 meals for $1. So you can think about that when you're trying to figure out this cheap meat to pack your freezer full of. Some people are vegetarians and they don't eat meat at all. That's fine too, if you're a vegetarian. But it's really not a good idea to go vegetarian if you're in some kind of food scarcity. You don't want to be protein deficient. That's why if you can stockpile some cheap meat, that's really going to help you out. If worse comes to worse, you can eat it down just by eating a little bit at a time. So I found this cheese that I got at the Senior Resource Center to be good. I got this at the beginning of March. And one thing about this processed cheese, it's like Velveeta cheese. If you wrap it up, when you're making some cheap food like this, it's not necessary. You've got your milk in there, you know, your evaporated milk. I mixed evaporated milk and 1/2, I'll use about this much, 1/2 water. It's not necessary to blow through your cheese. I have chamomile tea, it's hot, chamomile tea and lemon, 4 cups. The tea is really wrecking my teeth. You know how it yellows your teapots up? Well, it's doing a number on my teeth. So if you're young, you might want to consider skipping out on tea. Once you get your teeth yellowed, you know, they're going to be screwed up. Right now, I kind of don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't care deeply. Okay, now, so I want my gravy a little bit thin. I don't want it too thick before I put the cheese in. But I want enough, you know, to cover the macaroni I made over there. If you're not new to gravy making and there's lumps in your gravy, just keep stirring it until you get your lumps out. It's going to taste better if you get the lumps out. Let me give you a quick shot of this close up. So my gravy is still a little bit thin and it's still got a few lumps in it. So, you know, when you're eating this food that has milk in it, another good thing is canned tomatoes. Then that's giving you some good nutrition in there, because maybe you're just using a little bit of meat. Maybe, like, you know, this isn't really that much cheese. But by adding the hot dogs, you know, I'm adding more nourishment to my macaroni and cheese. So now I'm going to put my cheese in there and melt it. So last night I had chicken, which was a step up from these meals I've been eating. But these are actually good, you know. Okay, now on the bread yeast, let me show you something. It should be, if you smell this, it smells really yeasty. So it was 1/4 cup of the yeast in the flour, but if you don't have that and you can't find that, you can use this. Okay, it's gonna activate slow. You can use 1/4 cup of this, 52 cents Walmart, instead of the, and they say that wheat flour activates better. And so to speed it, you can put it in the morning when you mix it with the water and the sugar in your bread making. This is looking good. You can speed it by heating a big pan of boiling water and slipping that in the oven. And tomorrow I'm going to make myself a tasty loaf. Maybe I'm going to make a tasty loaf of cinnamon rolls. Cinnamon rolls are tasty. Okay, so I'll put my hot dogs in. And then I'll put my macaroni that I bought at Dollar Tree in there. So this is very cheap, really. The hot dogs were 24 cents. This is a very small amount of the macaroni in the package, and a very small amount of the cheese. So you can get by on this. You can get by on this, on chili, on spaghetti, on Spanish rice, on beans. All right, so we'll let that cook a minute while I talk to you guys. This was the dollar macaroni from Dollar Tree. All right. All right, now. Okay, so today I had to go get toilet paper. What I'm doing is just about every day I'm going to the store and I'm buying toilet paper. Because one of the most unsanitary things I can think of in the whole wide world is no toilet paper. I can cut back pretty good on paper towels and napkins, but the toilet paper thing, that's an issue. And it's a gross issue. And I don't think it's the end of this. Okay, so I went to get toilet paper. So I got a dented can of tomatoes, and I've been doing this all year. And this is really going to save you money over time. I couldn't find orange lozenges, but I found lemon. So if I go, I get these out and start sucking. And I got this bag of detergent for 50 cents, Roma detergent, a damaged package. And I got this good jasmine tea for 50 cents. So that's all I got, you know, that's it for, that's all they had that, you know, I thought I could use. At one point, I got this powdered milk. I bought all they had. It was $3.99 a can, because you don't want to run out of milk. And then I stockpiled some sunflower seeds, some trail mix, and some tuna. I make awesome tuna burritos. I have like, I posted one on my my Twitter but that was a chicken one. So I heat my flour tortillas on both sides. You know, I put a little cooking spray, and then I put cheese, and then just regular tuna made like a tuna sandwich or chicken, and I roll it up. It's delicious. Tuna, mayonnaise, mustard, and pickles. Okay, so now I want to talk to you guys about something. This is what's left of the, let me see if it's showing. The senior resource box of food I got. And I want to encourage you guys, if you qualify and if you're an older adult woman. Now I got this when I was sick. See, I was sick, and in January 15th, I got this the second week of March when I figured out how to do it. Don't wait until you don't have a single bite of food in the house, because we don't actually know what's going to happen. And I brought this out because I wanted to show you guys something if you follow me. So say if you have never been poor and you have never been to a food bank, like, you know, a lot of people, this is better food than I buy myself. I got 2 cartons of low-fat milk. I got 1 package of quick oats. And don't give me any comments, you shouldn't get this. I have the lowest income you can ever imagine. That's why I qualify for this. But this is also the food bank food in California, and you don't have to qualify. If you're older, they notified me they would bring it to my house, but they gave me EBT to equal the amount of money they took. So save that advice for your mother and your sister with kids. And if you are on welfare, you can still get the food. I got some peanut butter. I got 2 cans of chicken. And what this really was 30 pounds of food. It's supposed to be for a month. I got a package of spaghetti. I got a package of brown rice. I got a big box of cereal, like Cheerios and milk, and oatmeal and milk. And so what this is good for is you can kind of, this is why it's so good if people post what they get, because you can kind of buy the food for yourself if hard times are coming, you know, because, you know, they try to give you a balanced diet. Maybe you have no idea how to do this if you're really broke. A lot of people don't. Why would they? I have 1 can of pears, and they gave me 2 of these cans of salmon, and it was enough for 4 meals, and these are about $8 now. In California, you call 211, and if you're a man and you don't have enough food, go to the food bank. Don't worry about what anybody else is thinking. God knows what's going to happen. I got 1. What is this? Oh, I had two cans of pears, and then they gave a lot of soup. Good luck finding these small cans of these. You used to be able to find them for 50 cents, and this is all for 1 month. This is what they gave the seniors. There was more food than this, but you know, I ate some. But I wanted to show you guys, and I wanted to encourage you, if you're sitting in your house without any food, or you're saying, oh my God, when am I going to go back to work? Don't sit around until there's no food in your house, because that goes back to not the Peter principle, the other one. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong at the worst possible moment, and we'll get into that in a minute. And try to get some food so you and your kids don't go hungry. And don't listen to these morons. Maybe they have a house full of food. Okay, now, let's get my macaroni and cheese out. Let's take a look at this, you guys. This will do. A crazy cheap dinner. Kids would like it. They really would. Okay, now, just like the more deserving people living in my apartment, according to the people who thought they were more deserving, according to the people who decide who needs what. Those are the kind of people you don't want deciding who needs what for you. Take a look at this. Okay, so now, what I usually do with this, you have to watch out, you have to be careful, God knows, or the people who were more deserving of my jobs. Usually they were friends, and the idea was to give the friend half of my job. They weren't losing any of their money, they were just generously giving these people half of my money, or giving my money to themselves. When I went into the shops, there was none. Right now, it'd be very easy for me to get a job. So this is what I do. I posted a video for you to see. Los Angeles defies lockdown. See, I'm not the only one calling it a lockdown or self-isolation to watch waves crash to shore. It's on W capital I-O-N-Y on news. Glowing neon blue waves. Hundreds of people. It's on my Twitter. Okay, now this virus, what it does is one person will give it to approximately 4 people, depending on who's around it. We knew the nurse who gave it to the man, who tried to avoid giving it to the family and stayed in a motel. He gave it to his wife. The grandmother died, so that was 4 people. Now we have, it says hundreds of people, so it's more than 100, but less than 1,000. So then you multiply that by 4. So then that's 400 at the least. And then this is like the parade for the Spanish flu. Now, what did I make for dessert? Don't do it. I mean, if people, it's like, it's like the emperor with the new clothes. I'm not naked. This stuff is not catching. Okay, so now, what did I make? Okay, I have to confess to you guys, somebody was eating a lot of sweet potato pie. Somebody like yours truly. I had 2 little sweet potatoes left. This is good. You gotta try this, you guys. I mean, don't be a glutton like some people, but you know. Okay, so so what's good about this is everything in the stockpile. So you start making your stuff homemade. I didn't use a pound. I just used 2 little sweet potatoes, brown sugar, cinnamon, salt, eggs. I used 1 egg. I used evaporated milk, undiluted, margarine, and then I made my own pie crust. Here's my old if you can ever get one of these, the Modern Cook. I used, this was one of my better pie crusts. Where is it? Oh, shoot. Yeah, here it is. 1 cup flour, 1/2 teaspoon salt. I used 1/3 shortening, you know, and then I cut it in there, and then I added water, ice water, little by little, and I refrigerated it for about an hour. It's easier to roll out that way. So I have plenty of food for tomorrow too. So, you know, if you can bring yourself to eat these cheap foods, if you can make your spaghetti with like 1 hamburger or your Spanish rice. That's why when I saw this, I grabbed it. What I do is when I use the tomatoes, I usually try to get stewed. I grind it. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, nice comments, no chicken shit comments under somebody else's comment with no link. Unless you know you really want to express yourself, well, go ahead. If I don't like it, I'll delete it. And if you really piss me off, I'll block you. Okay, you guys, God bless you all.